Hi folks, this is Meredith from the Papery Craftery, and today I'm going to be talking about shipping and mailing your quilling. I get a lot of questions about this and how I do it, and I thought I'd share some tips today. I'm going to go over a few different ways and a bunch of different supplies that you might want to have on hand if you plan on mailing some of your quilling. So first off, a question I get asked a lot about is cards. What I like to do, and this might sound like overkill, but it's definitely better to err on the side of caution and use more cushion than you might need than risk your cards getting smushed. So I like to put them in a cellophane bag. This one is a little bit too big, but the good thing is about cellophane is that you can bend it around if you need to and fold it, and it still will seal to any size you want. This one, can't find the edge of there we go. So I tear the tape off and I make sure that it fits there nice and cozy. And now that card is not going to move inside that cellophane bag, but that's not necessarily enough protection to keep it from getting smushed in the mail. Then what I do is sandwich it between two pieces of cardboard. And what that's going to do is, if anything does bang on the top of your package, the cardboard will distribute that bang over the entire piece and it won't damage your quilling. And then I would slip that whole thing into a bubble mailer, which is just an envelope that has bubble wrap on the inside. Seal that, and that's it. Again, I know it sounds like a lot, but especially if you're selling these, you really don't want them to be damaged on the way to wherever they are intended. Another option is if you are mailing, let's say, like a piece of home decor that's going to be framed like this monogram. Again, with the cellophane bags, these ones fit even better. This is actually what I bought these bags for. This is what I used to sell on Etsy when I did sell my own quilling. So I have these all set up with the size that I liked already. And then I just put one piece of cardboard right in that bag, right on top of my quilling. And between that cardboard and the mat board that I mounted the quilling on, it's going to keep that quilling nice and protected. If you wanted to put another piece of cardboard behind the mat board, you could absolutely do that. This will work on even a deeper quilling like this other yellow L over here in the corner. Same process will work for either one of these. Anything that has quilling that's all the same level, that packaging will work really well for. If you have a lot of quilling that you're shipping, you're definitely going to want to invest in some boxes. This is actually the smallest box I could find that I had because I really don't do shipping anymore, so I couldn't even get it on camera, but you can find those online, or any office supply store even has boxes like that for shipping. Here's an example of quilling that is not one level. I have, those orange flowers on top of the other flowers. That process that I just showed with the cardboard and the bag wouldn't be a great idea for this type of quilling. You're going to definitely need some little boxes if you're just doing a little bit, and some bigger boxes if you're shipping a lot. Lots of bubble wrap, lots of cushion in there to really protect those. I just also wanted to draw attention to the fact that you might have some of these supplies already in your house. If you just look around, you might have shipping boxes that have come. These are bags that I've cut up from shipping that I've got delivered to myself, which are really just bubble wrap. You can use small pieces of that. There's even videos online where you can take that blue writing off, I think with like nail polish remover or something. I don't know, but look that up. That is something else to think about. But don't forget about decorating your packages. You can do that even if you're mailing them. That is okay. I had stamps made with my logos on them. Here is a bunch of stickers. Thank you for buying handmade. Paper love, that first one said, and this one is just my little logo. You can dress up your packages. You can still make them look cute even if they're just brown boxes that are going through the post office. Another thing to consider if you're doing a lot of shipping and you're worried about the cost, If you want to not be surprised with that, when you get to the post office, you can buy a scale. This is just a food scale. This is the one I used to use, and I didn't realize that the batteries apparently had died. Like I said, I really haven't shipped in a long time, but that is something to consider as well when you're picking up supplies for shipping. But what if you don't want to mail your quilling, but you want to hand it to somebody as a gift and you want a nice way to do that? There is a lot of tutorials online about making your own paper boxes. I thought I would show a few. This is from Paper Zen, which is Cecilia Louie. You might be familiar with her. She is very prolific in the quilling world. So she has shared for free this sort of puffy envelope here. I printed mine out at home and traced it onto cardstock. It didn't need any, just a little bit of glue on one side, I believe, and a card slips right in there. Even that multi-layered quilling that I showed before fits right in that little box perfectly. Another one that you can use is from a company called Paper and Landscapes, that website, and same thing, printed that off, traced it on cardstock. It's a cute little box envelope that is exactly the right width to hold, let's say, this flat ornament. 1/8 quilling strips fit really, really nicely in here. You can decorate that any way you want to. Another great idea for handing over quilling gifts face to face. And then this last one here worked really well. This is available from All Fee Paper Crafts, and it's definitely smaller, but it's deeper. So you can fit more of a 3D type quilling in here, or this gift tag has many, many layers to it, and it just slips right in there and then closes right back up again. Again, not really meant for mailing. I would be afraid that they would get smushed, but stamp those up however you want and hand it over to whoever your loved one is that you've made your beautiful quilling for, and they, I'm sure, would really appreciate the effort of not only your handmade quilling, but your handmade box as well. I will definitely link to all of those printables and the websites where you can get your own version from. So look for those in the description box for this video. But I do also want to mention before the end here that shipping quilling can be a little risky. You know, the post office, as we all know, has been known to damage things accidentally in the past. So shipping quilling is very much, you know, do at your own risk type of situation. These things have worked for me. They might not work for everybody. It's definitely just an idea of the supplies that are out there to help you get your quilling to where it needs to be. So again, please just be really careful and package everything up the best you can. If anybody has any other ideas and what's worked for them for shipping, I'd love to hear about it. I'm sure everybody else would love to learn something new. So go ahead and leave all that down in the comments for this video. Other than that, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can be around for my next video, and I'll see you then. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.